So in my last video, I modeled or sculpted this little boy's shoe. And in this video, I'm going to bring the pieces over to CozyBlanket, retopologize them, and come closer to finishing my model. So first, I'm going to select some things and combine them just to make my life easier. All of the Tauruses, I went into the layers and I'm grabbing all my Tauruses because those are those little rings on the shoe. I'm going to combine them, join them. So now I have, if I turn them off, I can see that I've grabbed them all. So that's good. And if there's anything else I can combine, I will. But right now I think the pieces are pretty set. I need that. I've got the bottom as one piece. I've got this as one piece. Yeah, so I'm going to start exporting them one by one. We'll start with, I want to start with the bottom. So I've got the bottom selected, and I'm going to go to the little folder at the top left, and I'm going to OBJ, export it as an OBJ, and I'm going to make sure that this box that's called only include selected objects is selected. And then I'm going to export OBJ into a file. Actually, I wonder if I can export it directly into CozyBlanket. Looks like I can. Let's try that. There we go. I can. And I'm noticing right off the bat that this isn't smoothed the way I want it to be. So I can go right back into Nomad. I wonder if I can isolate. I'll turn off the view for all the others. See, it's as easy as this. And then I'm going to smooth it out. You don't really have to do this, but I think this is going to make for an easier, turn up the intensity, an easier retop. So might as well, because you're not going to see it, but it'll make my life easier. The flatness of this doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I can flatten it out later. Okay, not bad. All right, now we'll do that again. I'm sorry about that. Export OBJ to CozyBlanket. There we go. And I'm going to start retopping this. It's not symmetrical, so I don't need to turn symmetry on. I'm going to do really large strokes. It's important that there's a ring around, or a loop, an edge loop, around anywhere where there's like a very meaningful deformation. So in this case, we have a few spots. We have this hard edge here. So I want to do a loop. I like to, if you just draw a line through, you'll see. I want to loop. Here, I'm going to add a, there. I want a loop to go around the whole shoe in general, or the whole bottom of the shoe. You could do it sort of sloppy because you're going to smooth it out eventually and it will even out. To delete an edge, so I think it'll be easier if I don't have this edge for now. You just squiggle over that edge. To connect, you can delete by drawing this little star. And to connect, you just draw a square, a quad, and it will automatically snap to you. If you're not seeing the screen that I'm seeing, you might be in UV mode or bake mode. Just go to RT, Retopologize, on the right-hand side. Okay, here we go. And when that happens, just draw that little star shape and you'll delete whatever problem area you have. Okay, I am going to create another loop here. You can just draw them out and they'll fill themselves in Okay. I'm looking at this corner, and it looks like this is the right spot for a 5-point connection. So I'm going to make sure that happens on both ends. So I'm making quads, just drawing out your quads, simple. You want to make sure as many edge loops exist as possible, because that will help you deform the topology well and add topology if you need it by just drawing in an edge loop. So here we can push the relax down with your thumb or your finger on the left, and you can kind of just run your Apple Pencil over it and it'll smooth it out for you. I'm gonna do this 5-point connection at the bottom here too. I'm deciding how I want to do it. I like that way, I think. So I'm gonna nope, not tries. We're doing all quads. So what I'm doing here is just making the right shape to accommodate this little line here. So there'll need to be 5 points connecting. And usually you just have 4 connecting like that. But here we have 5. And I did it on both sides, so it means I need to, and if you just draw a line through, you can add an edge loop. But anytime you have a weird deformation area, you're going to want to have that 5-point connection to close it out. And now we're going to be checking out how we can close this out. We may have another 5-pointer here. Where there's one, there's generally 2. But not in this case. I just had to do the connection math, so to speak. There we go. So kind of eyeball it and see where things will line up. And you want to just keep those quads. The good thing about edge loops is that you'll have the ability, if you double tap with 2 fingers, you can add, you can go back, sorry. And sometimes it creates a weird effect, so you're going to just double tap to undo that. Make sure it goes all the way through. And if you just draw a line in an empty space, when there's one empty gap left, it'll create the quad for you. So we're going to smooth this out just a little, not too much because it's not ready to be fully smoothed yet. And we're going to just draw in some more quads. I'm going to add a spot here because I think it needs it. Actually, I don't think so. Okay, so I'm closing things out. Adding when I need, draw a line to close that. And let's go to the bottom and see what we need to do. Cool. missed that. Oh, I'm going to add, oh, if I add an edge loop, you'll notice that it kind of messes me up. So I'm going to have to figure out ways to do a little count here. We've got, no, I don't want 4. I want and an edge loop there. So here's the issue. We've got a 1 connecting to a 2. So it's going to either, we're going to either need to okay, that fixed it. Sometimes you just have to do a little bit of trial and error. There's a 3-point connection here. That's totally fine. Just like the 5-point, you get those from time to time. Just try not to get too many of them, but definitely it happens. I wonder if I can add. That was weird. No. I like to separate the 3 and the 5s if I can, but these two are kind of close together. I don't think that'll be a problem though. And now I'm just relaxing the whole thing. Relax, relax, relax. The great thing about CozyBlanket is that it automatically saves for you. So this CozyBlanket file will be saved in the folder with all my other CozyBlanket files, and I will be able to just adding an edge loop there, giving myself good deformity. Okay, so the bottom is done. Now we can export this as an OBJ. Cool. All right, I don't hate it, and it's definitely good enough for our purposes here. So I wonder if I just add 1 edge loop there, it'll help solidify that deformation, not adding 1 there. Okay, so to export it, you're just going to go to the top right, the one that I have selected, and you're going to go save to files. I have a OBJ folder. I'm going to call this, I'm actually going to create a subfolder because there's so many parts to this. Boy shoes, and I'm going to call it bottom. No tags. Save. Okay, so I've got the bottom of the shoe. Next up, we have, turn that on again, turn everything on. Shoe tip. Let's export the shoe tip this time. Same deal as last. We're going to export OBJ to Cozy. And now we can start on this bad boy. This one will be simple. Now you might be wondering why I'm doing it piece by piece, and it's just better this way to maintain the shapes. And then I'm going to group them, maybe even combine them in Maya. And oh, I have a strange issue here. I'm doing an edge loop around the edge here. Keeping the polys as big as I can. Whoops. Nope. I think I need another loop around this part. Everywhere where there's a hard edge, I want to make sure there's an edge loop. kind of doing it sloppy for the time being, but double tapping on that screen to undo. Really roughly drawing these shapes. There we go. This will be my loop over here. Oops. And if I draw a line through, I'll get it cut in half, which is what I want. Same with this one. Very exciting, very exciting. Okay, now I'm going to close up these open areas by creating quads. This might be too big. There we go. Oh, that's a try. Don't want that. Oh. Okay, if I squiggle, I lose it. Actually, this is a quad. Oops. If I connect this to this, right? Let's see. No. Right now, I'm just playing it by ear. Relax it. Oh, something got messed up over here. That's fine. Just redraw that. Just doing another line here to give it that edge. Let's see. We're going to make some connections. So I'm going to, on both sides, create a divisionary square here, or a quad here. Because it's kind of an odd shape. Make sure it's even on both sides so that they can connect with each other. If you double tap on the edge, you will wondering what I did here. That is such a mess. Relax this area. There we go. That's the same as the other edge. And then we can start connecting the mid pieces. I'm just adding where I need it. Mostly with retopping, you learn as you go. So it can be very meditative. Oops, undo. Really like CozyBlanket because you can do retop on the go. It's a very manual process in CozyBlanket, which is fun. And I'm going to end edge loop there because it needs some more deformation. This is looking great. Relax, relax, hold down, relax, and draw. I think I'm going to end edge loop there because it's having a hard time on that corner. Okay, and now I'm going to close out the bottom. Although we probably don't need to because we won't see it. I can always delete it later though. It's not a problem. Actually, I'm already noticing that I'm going to have too many to connect here, so I'm going to start with this side. Right now, I'm just seeing we only have 2 connections left, and we have a ton of things to connect to, so we've got a little bit of an issue. Need to zoom in to get those ones. Let's do a loop around here. I'm going to delete these real quick. Oops, did not mean to add an edge loop there. Okay. So the problem is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at the top and only 4 at the bottom. So we're going to need to combine some of these top ones in order to not have an issue. I need to connect those. Now, if I add an edge, you'll see it adds one on the other side. So what I can do is if I delete that, I'm wondering if I affect anything. I double squiggled on it to see. And if I add an up, can't do that. Now, curious as to, that is creating I'm following this. Relax this area. We've got 2 zones that aren't working. we've got 4 here and only 1 there. So we need to close out some of this. That's only 3. Relax. It's very much like a puzzle. Retopping. Connecting, making sure that you're not messing anything up with the edge loop situation. You can't delete an edge loop. That's vital for the structure, meaning if the edge loop results in any of these 3-point or 5-point connections and you delete it, it's going to mess up your topology pretty badly. So you don't want to do that. Now the bottom is a little funky, but it's okay because I'm only going to be seeing the top part of this anyway. So I'm not really worried about that. I might even delete it when I bring it into Maya, the bottom part. As long as this part looks good. Okay, there we are. If there's anything we need to change, we can adjust it later. Yeah, I wanted a hard edge there. Okay, so let's export this one. Top. Save to files. I have it in boys' shoes. I'm just gonna call it the tip, I guess. I don't know. Tippy toe. Back to Nomad for the rest. So we did the tip, we retopped the tip and the bottom of the shoe. Now we're going to get the sides. Shoe side here. I'm going to make sure it's selected, then head over to the folder where we're going to export OBJ. Make sure only include selected objects is checked. I'm going to export it straight into Cozy. And looking at it here, this is not what I need to be doing. So I'm gonna go back and fix that up. Okay, I might fast forward through this a bit, but I'm just gonna basically cut out the middle using the trim tool. Lasso. And we're going to trim the bottom part using the probably rectangle. And now I'm going to smooth things out a bit. Too much. The inside can be smoothed a lot, so I can turn up the intensity now. Just don't want to affect anything that we're seeing on the outside. Cool. That's too much, so I'm doing that. I'm going to trim that a little bit more, just, this is very organic. So, where's my trim? There we are. It's rectangles already. I'm going to make sure left is selected, so I've got a good even view here. And I'm going to turn everything back on. Make sure it looks good. Oh, whoops, I'm selecting, not turning on. Yeah, still fits. If the shoe fits. Okay, cool. I had little sculpting issues, but it's no biggie. Easy to fix, and it's easy to see the issues when you... There we are, when you bring it into Cozy. Okay. Obviously, I don't need to keep this shape down here. That's just something we'll work around. Just seeing how it's going. Okay. We don't need symmetry on because this is not symmetrical. So I'm just going to attempt to create an edge loop around the whole edge here. Oh, interesting. That has never happened to me. I wonder what was going on there. Right, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to work with it and see what happens. I want this shape to be something like this. Ooh, that's not what I want. Something like this. There we go. We're going to try to make it a loop around here. I cut an edge around there so I can make sure that it's a loop, and it is. Now I'm going to try to work my way up the side here. But I think I'm going to need a, it's hard to see, 5-point connection there, just to build up the shape. Okay, oh, I just wanted to see if that would cut through. It did. Okay. I'm a little worried, anticipating that weird black thing that we saw happen before, but so far it's not happening again. So let's just make an edge loop around the edge here. If you draw that little star, get rid of a poly that didn't come out right. You just draw. It was this area. Okay, good. Let's give it some. Okay. So cool. I want to do that star thing, I think, again over here. I'm not quite sure if I... my cat has come over and he's crying. It's okay. How did I do that one? I don't know if that needs it. We'll just do that for now. Oh, I accidentally deleted a point. If you double tap on it, you can move it over. I need to add another edge loop here. It's a little too much. Okay, maybe another one, even relax them out. Curious about adding an edge loop there. No. There we go. Oops, sometimes it has a plan of its own, and if I select the wrong thing, it starts its own plan here. Add another edge loop, closing it out. Gonna add another one. Okay, getting there. No, I don't know if I want that. I'm gonna delete some of this. Actually, I want to add an edge loop. I want a 5-point connection over here because I feel like it needs it. But yeah, that seems like the right spot to me. Definitely gonna need to add did that connect to? It just drew. Okay, cool. It connected to nowhere. basically freestyling this. Oop, nope. If you draw a line, you could fill that gap. Okay, we're gonna have to fill in the middle, but also finish the sides here. So let's do that. Sometimes I like to go piece by piece. Sometimes I like to do a big swath of them. Not sure what that's doing. You know, just draw them out. There we go. Oh, hey, what am I doing? That was a strange connection. I'm going to pull that corner to fix the angle. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave the bottom open on this because there's really no reason for me to close it out. You're not going to see this bottom area, so I think it's going to help out to leave it open. Oh no, what is this crazy thing? Something is going on here. And it's not really deleting. Am I drawing the star? Right? Who knows? Just had to get in there and really do some work. Okay, I added an edge loop there too. Okay, so let's start connecting more. I'm gonna connect those. I'm relaxing this area, just seeing what I've got, and yeah, that actually makes sense to me. Nope, it created that, but I think that 5-point connection there makes sense, so I'm gonna leave it. Wondering what I should connect over here. I'm gonna start connecting these just because it's gonna be a little easier to figure out rather than doing piece by piece, and then I'll no. Trying to cut an edge loop here. There we go. Okay. Another edge loop. Boom. I don't want two 5-point connections right next to each other. So I'm trying to avoid that. Okay. Now we can add, oops. Nope. Whoops. Okay, cool. And everything's looking jagged, but a little smoothing will cure that very quickly. Now I gotta close out this area. Oh, we have another issue like we did last time. I'm not sure how this snuck in, but let's try to delete what we can here. It's always a good idea to scan your area and make sure that the whole thing is looking good, because sometimes you're so zoomed in, you don't exactly know what's going on. Whoops. Okay. While I'm over here, I'm gonna relax some of it. No, my poor little guy is crying. Breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. Here I'm just doing a little damage control, trying to figure out how this is going to connect. And now I'm going to relax this area out. There's a few 5-point connections there. I don't think it's going to be a problem though. Relaxing, relaxing. Gotta add an edge loop here because it's starting to lose its size. Same with this side. And then I'm going to add another one at the bottom because this is kind of an important area. And if it doesn't match up to the bottom of the shoe in Maya, I'll just drag the edge down a little. So it's not going to ruin anything for me. The sizing is almost perfect. And I definitely want an edge loop or two along, this area. Because we're going to have a hard edge there, so just relaxing it a little, not too much. Okay, there's our shoe side. Like I said, don't need a bottom, so that's okay. Probably don't need all that inside either, but for now it's okay. We're gonna export it out to our files. Boy shoes were already there. I'm going to call it sides, save, and we'll back to Nomad. What haven't we done? We haven't done the tongue and we haven't done the laces. And as for the Tauruses, I'm probably just going to export. I'm not going to retopologize them. I'm going to export them out plain as they are because I can just recreate them in Maya, low poly, and it's much easier than retopping them. So that's not an issue. Okay. Now, let me see. Are the laces connected? They're not. So I'm definitely going to connect all the laces by selecting them all and then joining them. And then I'll rename it by clicking those 3 buttons. Ooh, what did I rename it? Craziness. Where did they go? Laces, where'd you go? I think I deleted them by accident. I'm just undoing. Okay. Let's grab our tubes. They're all grabbed. And then join. I deleted it. Rename. Okay. Now that I've got that, I'm going to export them out to Cozy. Let's try to keep it as as low poly as possible. We're going to really just blaze through. And if you're like, whoa, I can't see anything. I will be adding subdivisions soon and we'll see more, but it kind of reminds me of like the fingers when I'm retopologizing a character. I try to keep it so low poly to the point where I can't always see what the heck's going on, but it's worth it because it's a lot less work than being super detailed on something so little. This might be an area I need more poly because it's turning. Oops. what is this? Where did you go? What's going down here? So I'll do this one shoelace and then I'm going to fast forward through the others because they're going to be the same deal pretty much. Just want to generally create I added an edge loop because it's just too low poly. I can't see what's happening. Another thing, we don't need to do the inner part of the lace there because you won't see it, so there's no reason to cap it off. That kind of saves us some drama in terms of connecting everything. Okay, I wonder if this is, I don't think so. I'm gonna have to manually get this all. Okay, oops. All right, let's see if this will be enough to close it out. This is quite a big divide here, so yeah, it worked. There, okie dokie. And I wonder, lots of inspection. There we go, looks good. Okay, nice, we kept it as low poly as possible. I'm gonna relax it out. I might throw in a few more edge loops just because definitely going to throw in an edge loop here. Maybe a proper edge loop. Does not want to do it, but it will. I will. Just undoing. There it is. Relax that area. Conform. Conform. There we go. Any spot that you're seeing like mesh through is too low poly, but it's not the worst. It's really not. See, I'm adding them now because that would have been way more work to connect all of those rather than just doing it after the fact. Okay, cool. Looking good, looking good. Oh, I could just reuse this one, but it's easy enough to retop, so I'm going to retop them all, and I'm going to speed through and fast forward, but you guys get the gist. All right, laces are finally done, so let's export them. Saved files. Oh, goodness gracious. Delete, delete, delete. And we're on the last bit, just this and the tongue. I think I'm going to just add them together and do them together because lip and shoe tongue select them both, join, and I'm going to export OBJ directly into Cozy. There we go. Yeah, that'll be fine. The lip could be smoother over here, but I don't think it's a problem. Okay, I'm actually going to restart this. I'm going to do a loop around the top because that is an important edge. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe. Nope. I'm gonna cap them. Let's add an edge there. Okay. Cool. Now we're gonna loop all around the whole thing. We're so close to having this topologized and ready to be UV'd and textured. And that will do in Maya. You can do UVs in CozyBlanket. It's not really part of my pipeline, so for now I'll skip it, but if I ever end up using it, I will redo the UVs. I'll make a video on that. But of course, if you use Blender or 3ds Max or Cinema 4D, whatever you use, your 3D program of choice, you can do UVs in that. So it's very flexible. There's so many ways to do the same thing in 3D. And it's kind of what I like because it allows you to choose your method. And what works for one person might not work for someone else. And it's nice to have that kind of freedom in your art. Okay, I added a edge loop there. I'm not sure if I should have, but okay. Now I'm going to, I don't know how I did that. I'm going to try to create a loop here. This part is not the most important part because I don't think you see it, but okay, closing out this area. You definitely don't see the bottom of the tongue here, so I'm not even sure I need that. I'll see what happens. No way, Jose. Not what we need. That's annoying. I can't add, I didn't get it so I could add an edge loop there, which I kind of want, but it's not the end of the world. I'll just add them here and it'll push it down. And that's fine because that part of, oops, wow, I've highlighted the whole thing. Sometimes you just have to let go of certain things because you know they'll be hidden, so you don't have to be totally like anal about getting everything correct. That's what I found, at least for my stuff. Okay, and we're gonna do this little loop. Technically, I don't even need some of the inside of this loop, but and like I said, the those little metal toruses that are part of the shoelace like element of the shoe, we're gonna just make those again in Maya by creating toruses. So I'm not going to retopologize them. It would just be way too much work for what you get. Okay, this is coming to a wrap. So what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to go into the folder where I've saved everything, and I'm going to upload all of my OBJs into my Google Drive, and then I will download them onto my PC and start working in Maya. We're going to put all the pieces together. We're going to UV it. We're going to texture. And then my boy will have his shoes ready. And then I can finish working on him. Just adding a few edge loops here and there and making sure that I'm not messing up the topology. It looked like I was, but I wasn't. Okay, cool. Ooh. Then we'll do cleanup in Maya. And oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Oh, it's so cool getting a new character together. It's so fun. And like all of the stuff we're going to be able to do. It's so exciting. We can animate him. I love the texturing process. It gives it like the flavor that you've been waiting for. Seeing it all come together. It's so exciting. Okay, now we're going to export and what should I call this? Okay, all set. All right, on to Maya.